Welcome to the podcast, people. Martin, Devlin, Lachlan Waugh. We begin the show with very heavy hearts today after the sad news on the weekend, losing Peter Lester. Peter Lester, 70 years young. Absolute icon in New Zealand sports broadcasting because of his work covering yachting for as many years as he did. Out of all the people I've ever met doing this job and working in this business, he is one of the nicest men you could ever come across. A real gentleman. Just a hell of a guy he was. Brilliant broadcaster, great friend. And so all our thoughts and prayers and love to everyone who knew him, his friends, his family, his fans. He translated yachting, didn't he? Just like PJ Montgomery, his great friend, translated yachting for all of us land lovers and armchair admirals. Talked to us in a way that was intelligent and thoughtful and just explained it all. Very sadly missed. Our good friend and a great broadcaster, Peter Lester.
Welcome to the DSPN.
He's given him. Oh, there you go. He was forward.
Oh, a punch up now in midfield. Fraser's involved.
The Devlin Sports Podcast Network.
On the program this week, we are concentrating big time on TRC, the Rugby Championship. What a tournament it's going to be this year. The most exciting edition of in years. 4 teams with everything to prove. Has it ever been this even? Tony Johnson from Sky Sport is all over that for us today, plus his thoughts on All Black selections coming later in the week. Richie Mwanga back with New Zealand Rugby. Jamie Wall, most trusted, respected, independent journalist in this country, I believe, covering sport. Jamie on the NPC. We'll ask both blokes as well, who's going to win this Rugby Championship and why? Wherever you are listening to us, or if you're watching on the DSPN YouTube channel, thank you for supporting us. Rover, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, video. Click that button. Hit the subscribe button on the DSPN YouTube channel. It really does help us here. We are heading towards 11,000 subscribers. We want to get to 15,000 as soon as possible. Enjoy. Leave us a comment. And we love your feedback as well. Try to answer as many of those. And we have Comment Corner, Marty's mailbag, will be back tomorrow and Wednesday as well. Time to start the show the same way we do every single day.
Marty's Sermons, brought to you by WebWonks. Generate online leads with WebWonks. Doctors for your Google data.
We live in an amazing, amazing world, and it's wasted on the crappiest generation of just spoiled idiots.
TRC, here we go, folks. The Rugby Championship is on us again. 2025 version, the most anticipated in years. All 4 teams arrive with ambitions of greatness. All 4 have everything to prove. The Springboks, number 1 in the world, well, they have got the most to lose. They have bullied and bludgeoned their way to the top of world rugby and now must deal with having that number 1 target on their backs like we have had for so many years here in New Zealand. Winning in New Zealand is the one thing they have never been consistently able to do. Forget about any talk of, they only care about World Cups. In between, they don't really care. Bollocks to all of that. This lot know their reputation. They have earned it. Their aura will be defined right now anyway by what happens next month at Eden Park and Wellington. Lose both those games and suddenly the pecking order of world rugby very much changes. Win both. Good Lord, they become nigh invincible. For the All Blacks, the mission is simple. Dethrone the champs. Home advantage is all we can ask for. Are we really any better than last year? Are we in fact improving as a team? Have we learned from losing twice to them over there? Creating depth in every position is a grand pursuit for the new coaching group, and I back that. Great for future years. But we also need to win right now. Another loss to the Saffers would set new records no All Blacks team wants to be part of. That would be the most consecutive losses ever to another team. The end of Fortress Eden Park and that 31-year-old unbeaten record. We've lost the last 4 in a row to South Africa. 5 would be derailing. 6, well, that would be a hammer blow. If we can't beat the Boks at home this year, even once, then the blowtorch has to turn on Coach Razor and all his players. Why aren't we good enough? Why can't these guys improve our team? How far backwards have we gone since the final in 2023? These are all questions which would have to be asked. We simply have to win. We've got to beat South Africa. Intolerable if we don't. The All Blacks since 2019 have lost 16 times and drawn twice. 4 times we lost last year. This is among the worst run of results in any 5-year period in our history, which is also why this Rugby Championship is different. We can't afford to lose twice to South Africa. We can't afford to know we are so definitely not the best team in the world. We've got to reassert ourselves here. And look, it's not daunting. I don't believe it is. It's something to be welcomed. This is what we love as All Blacks, backs against the wall. Everyone hates us, everyone's against it. Well, come and get some. In rugby right now, this has got to be our greatest challenge. And what a ride if we manage to do it. How good if we do manage to do it and beat them twice. Also, I don't think for a second that Argentina and Australia are just bit-part players in this equation. Los Pumas have beaten us 3 times since COVID. They beat all 3 opponents in last year's Rugby Championship. They've earned their respect. 2 wins at their place would be 2 very good results for this All Black side. We need it. We need it confidence-wise after a mostly solid but never outrageously brilliant series versus France. And then there's Australia, who certainly have the belief right now after 2 very encouraging efforts in tests number 2 and 3 versus the Lions, which is why it all makes for such an intriguing comp over the next 8 weeks. The great unknown, so much at stake. Nervous? Hell yes. Excited? Yes. Double plus click on that. Confident? Not super so, but I absolutely do believe we can take this thing. I do believe we can beat all 3 in front of us starting Sunday morning in Cordoba. We need to play well. We've got to win this test and let the rest of the world know how dangerous this All Black side is, how much potential we've got, how much better we are capable of getting. This is as important a rugby championship as it's ever been. So much to prove. And for South Africa, and this is the best bit, for once, it's you, not us, who's the team with everything to lose.
Devlin.
Tide 5, Lachlan, which is 5 separate sporting topics of the day to talk about, roughly 90 seconds, 2 minutes on each.
Tide 5.
And when this guy yells at us, on to the next topic we go. We're going to be talking about TRC, the Rugby Championship, who wins that this year and why, including who wins the 2 tests this weekend. Where are the Warriors at now? 5 losses in the last 7 games. What do we make of the Blackcaps 2-test triumph? Can I call it a triumph in Zimbabwe? Women's rugby. England. Over 1,000 days now since they lost as we head into the World Cup in a month's time. Richie Mwanga back in camp. Van Gisbergen wins. Hayden Wilde wins as well. All of that to cover. Yes! Who wins the Rugby Championship and why? Let me go first on this. I'm with Carlos Spencer. I think that the South Africans have to be favourites. I can see them losing a game here in New Zealand. I think we're going to split that series 1-1. I hope we win at Eden Park. That's the one we want to win, but I think that they're going to split that series. I think that them coming here and losing 2 games is probably, it's on our wish list. It's probably too much to hope for. And I wouldn't be surprised if we drop 1 more game during the competition. I think South Africa will lose to us once. I can't see them losing again. But I'm just not so confident about this All Black side at the moment after what I saw last year and against France that we're going to go and bury Argentina twice and we're going to beat Australia twice. If we lose one of those 4 games, I won't be surprised. So I think South Africa take this out, but I do think we beat them.
Well, I think we win both in New Zealand because I think we're circling those games more than anything else. And I disagree on the sort of the state the All Blacks are in or the position they're in. I think the depth they're building, we talked about this last week, is brilliant. I think the fact that you can roll out, a lot of people talked about how the French had a 2nd or 3rd string 15 playing us here in New Zealand. In that 3rd test, that was pretty much a B or C All Black side as well, and we still beat them when we weren't that great, and they were good in the first half.
That's right. I mean, I just haven't seen us be really good yet.
Yeah, but that's not our best 15 or 23. Now, it's dangerous to try and build up to that at the start of the Rugby Championship, which probably means that we're not going to look great against Argentina in this first test at least. So if we drop one of those, I wouldn't be surprised. But I do think we'll beat South Africa twice. I think at home, I think they are certainly beatable twice. Yes! So, therefore, we probably win the Rugby Championship. Well, I think we do at least.
Where are the Warriors at now? Now, just let me run through some stats here for you. After beating the Sharks on June the 7th, that's a couple of months ago, 40-10. That was the best Warriors performance of the season, without question. Since then, lost to the Panthers, lost to the Broncos. Beat the Tigers comfy, beat the Knights with Leka the Wrecker scoring in the very final play, lost to the Titans at home, lost to the Dolphins, now lost to the Dogs. 5 losses in 7. And it's those 2 losses, Titans and Dolphins, are the 2 that I think every Warriors fan's looking at going, those games should have been won. They're 2 teams that should have been beaten at home, and the team would still be either in the top 4, very close to the top 4. This is an alarming slide is what it is. 5 losses in 7.
Yeah, some of the losses you can take. I think the Bulldogs one for sure you can, because the Bulldogs have been one of the best teams all season.
And the Broncos on their day,
Yeah, Brisbane on their day. I mean, I'm the first to say how frustrating it is to watch that team and how soft they are sometimes. But when they have their tails up, they do perform well.
Everyone's lost to the Panthers. That's not a bad loss. Everyone's lost to them over the last 8 or 9 weeks.
Yep, they're red hot, and they've got that premiership winning calibre, of course, because they've won 4 in a row. So it's the Titans' loss, as you say. The Dolphins won.
Well, no. You're up against 12 men and you've got all the possession in the second half, and you conceded try out wide when they were a man down.
Yeah, that second half.
That's inexcusable.
I was at the game and I was on the end that the Warriors were attacking in the second half, and it felt that they were in that part of the field the entire second half. You should take advantage of your opportunities when you have them against a side that you're better than on the table, you're at home against, and a side that has 12 men for the last 7 or 8 minutes of the game.
And they just got dicked by 60 points this weekend. That Dolphins is so hot and cold. So
like Brisbane, yeah. It's a Queensland team thing.
Warriors are going to have to win at least 2 out of the next 4 to get a home semi. That's top 6. Got to win 2. Have to target, Dragons this weekend is now a must win.
So the Warriors are currently 12 and 7? Mm-hmm. No, it's not.
No, 12 and 8.
My apologies. Yeah, 12 and 8. I was just doing maths in my head there. I mean, if you want to finish in the top 6, you want to get 15.
14 or 15 wins, yeah.
14 might get you there this year.
16 gets you top 16. Top 4's gone. Top 4's out now. But Warriors deserve a top 6
It's not
spot.
in your hands anymore.
Yeah,
you don't control your destiny. Yeah. That's the key part.
The thing is, Panthers have got Storm, Raiders and Dogs, maybe not in that order, but they're their next 3 games.
Yeah, Storm's
so are they
at
going to win all
home,
3 of
Dogs
those?
is away, Sydney. The Raiders game, I'm not too sure where that is, but you'd bank Penrith getting at least 1 win there.
The other teams are flexing too. Dogs are flexing. Raiders are flexing. Melbourne is still winning.
I think Melbourne's there for the taking. To take the first 20 minutes against Brisbane, we lost, and fair enough, Melbourne always beat the Broncos, but for the first 20 minutes before our 2 halves went down in one play, that game was an arm wrestle, and the Broncos were pounding that try line of Melbourne's. So the Storm were there for the taking.
It's a worry for the Warriors right now. We've got to make mention of Hayden Wilde, who in May had a terrible accident on his bike, broke ribs, spleen, I think, all of that. And he's come back.
Yeah, punctured lung.
Come back 3 months later, and he's won the T100 in London. This defines Ironman, doesn't it?
Under 3 months.
Under 3 months.
So if it was 3 months ago, you were in a bike crash, you punctured your lungs,
broke the ribs.
Ribs are gone. You're still probably complaining about it now, aren't you?
No, look,
you're not in work at the moment.
No, it's still in rehab.
Yeah.
So
you're at home on the couch.
However long it took to heal for him enough to get back into training, which would have been incredibly painful anyway, then to get up to race level, and then to go out and win a race.
Not just, everyone made a big deal about Tiger Woods when he came back and played at the Masters after his horrendous leg injury, and the fact that he was competitive and I think he made the cut after the first couple of rounds. It was like, holy cow. And then, normal order restored, and he fell away because he'd been out of the game for so long. Well, no, that didn't happen here. He not only was he competitive, he won.
Yeah, it's incredible.
How do you win when you've had that accident so recently?
Standout sports story of the weekend, that one. What do we make of the Blackcaps 2 tests pantsing of a Zimbabwe side?
Record margin of victory, that second one. Their best ever.
Zach Fowkes, congratulations to you. 9 wickets on debut, and that's the most ever. But,
Yeah, best figures for a Kiwi on test debut.
As a player, you don't select who you're playing against, okay? So I'm taking nothing away from the players that have padded their stats amazingly over this series. Guys getting centuries, guys getting 150s, Zach getting 9 wickets. When I think of 9 wickets for New Zealand, I think of 9 for 52, which is the holy numbers that Sir Richard Hadley put up against Australia in Brisbane at the Gabba in 85. In one innings, 9 for 52. When somebody else gets 9 wickets, and I see it as record achieved, I look down, what? But this is what happens when you're playing a
Sorry, did Sir Richard get 9 in a single innings?
Then the other wicket he caught, yeah. Vaughan Brown bowled it and he caught it, yeah. And one, look, I'm taking nothing away from the Blackcaps, I'm taking nothing away from Zach, but this was a Dargaville club side we were playing. It's not even part of the World Test Championship. They are so weak, Zimbabwe. You take the wins.
Would they beat a Dargaville club side? I feel like they would, Zimbabwe.
Would they?
I don't know.
Would they?
They'd get a whole lot of South African rejects, wouldn't they?
Oh, look, I don't know. I applaud the wins, but I sit there and I go, well,
to be fair,
I want this against an actual team.
To reiterate what you said, you can only beat what's in front of you, so there's no point criticising New Zealand or any of the players or anything like that. And, I would have liked... There's kind of 2 things you can do. When you get to the end of that, I think it was second day where they were 601 for 3, New Zealand.
After 2 sessions.
And leading by 400. You either try and go for the record of 923,
that's
whatever
what I would have done.
Or you declare and try and win it. I would have gone for the record.
I would have gone for the record and tried to get 1,000 in an innings and set a record so we would have the top score in Test cricket and the worst score.
And the worst. But also, is the record... I was just doing a bit of research and I just quickly looked at it. I didn't delve into it. Is it Sri Lanka over India? They got 923.
Because on those pitches, you just can't bowl anyone out. They called it like a State Highway 1.
And this was in the 90s as well.
Yeah, State Highway 1. There's just no bounce, no variation, no nothing.
I just thought the fact
that actually would have been quite funny and also a great record to have if we'd put on 1,000 against them.
Yeah.
1,000 with no loss of any wickets and did it in 2 sessions. 2 to go. England have thrashed France in their final warm-up for the Women's World Cup, 40-6 in France.
John Mitchell, go on.
It's been 1,000 days since that England women's team, the Red Roses, lost.
1,000?
The last time they lost was...
about 3 or 4 years, isn't it? Okay. If it's 1,000, it'll be probably the World Cup final.
World Cup final against the Black Ferns.
Yeah.
That's the last time that they lost.
There you go.
We are absolute underdogs going into this tournament. Don't think for a second that we are. That doesn't mean we can't beat them. And you imagine the pressure now on that England women's team with that record. You've won 27 in a row. You haven't lost in 3 years.
I do not.
That's pressure.
I think they're out for redemption.
If you're going to bottle one game, it could be the World Cup final like they did last time.
The Black Ferns' achievement in 2023 was it 22 or 23?
22.
It's 22. Yeah, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Was it
22?
It was 22. My apologies. It was 22. Yeah. An incredible achievement, and the turnaround that they enjoyed was spectacular.
Because
well
remember,
done.
we'd only been dick-boned in France the year before.
So well done to the coaches and the players at the time, of course. Now, England going into that game with the favourites, they were the best team in the world, and they were up 14-0 before, could have been 12-0, 12 or 14-0 before they got a red card, and that obviously changed the game, and they were still driving to win the game, to use NFL terms, and then they just mucked up a line out at the end. They have had a pebble under the beach towel for years now in regards to that loss.
It's Mount Everest.
Absolutely. But they are going to obliterate everyone because they are out to win that World Cup.
Yes! We're going to punch his chance like we had last time.
But
we're going to end it on this, and this is the argument where I'm right. Richie Mo'unga should be with the All Blacks in camp right now. There's no question about this. If you're going to sign him again for next year and in October, he should be with the All Blacks so that he's around those other first fives, imparting his knowledge, his experience. It's not like he's a guy that comes in who doesn't know anyone. He knows the coaching staff well. He knows all the players. Anything he could offer our team at the moment, if he's signing next year, put him back in the camp. Doesn't have to play. I get all of that. And the other thing is Leicester needs to be put back in as well. After watching Leicester play for Tasman on the weekend, put him back in.
Well, he's eligible now.
Put him back in.
Leicester just quickly. He's eligible.
Add him to the squad. What do we lose by adding those 2 guys to the squad?
Well, Leicester will be picked for the Northern Tour. And if there's an injury in the back line, let's say someone else gets injured, because obviously I think Leroy Card is currently injury cover for Caleb Clark, so if another person gets injured, Leicester probably will get brought in. In terms of Richie Mo'unga, I agree with you. I don't think we've got to argue on this at all. What I will say is 2 things. One, what's he up to between now and his Japanese season starting? Because he actually could have some, personal family plans.
Sure.
So let's just, if we assume that Mo'unga's got a clean slate, he hasn't got a huge amount on, he's just chilling out. Yeah, get him involved. I don't agree with this idea of it's a distraction for the other first fives in camp. No. What that is that's almost the big boss sitting up there in the stands, looking down on you, making sure that you're
everything
doing your work and doing it to a high standard. Because if you're not, he's coming for you, and if you can't handle that pressure,
everyone always says he's the ultimate team man. Put him back in now.
And another, I want to bring up what links to it really well. It's a quote from Ricky Stewart over the weekend. He's talking about Ethan Strange, who had a great performance for the Raiders. I think it was on Friday night, and he made a point of saying that Ethan Strange, he's only 20 years old. He's going to be a Kangaroo starter. He's going to be a New South Wales starter. It's going to happen. And he made a point after that, Ricky, of saying he can handle the pressure, and anyone who's saying that I'm putting too much pressure on him, well, too bad, okay, because he can handle it and he will, and if he can't, well, that's his problem. Similar thing here. If Richie Mo'unga's in camp and the first fives that are in there, the younger ones, say, for example, any of the other players complain a little bit and go, I'm feeling a bit too much pressure, well, get out of the team. You clearly can't handle it.
The All Blacks are pressure. We love it. We live with it.
This is the DSPN.